Hey there, everyone. Hope you're doing well today. This is Raphael Garcia back for the 25th episode of the Let's Talk Wrestling podcast. Today is July 11th, 7-Eleven day, and I just realized I forgot to go get my free Slurpee. So if you're listening to this, you haven't stopped by 7-Eleven, take advantage, 7-Eleven day, go get your free Slurpee, slushy, whatever the hell you call it, and enjoy some summertime goodness. But if you are listening in, this is the time we've designated to talk about professional wrestling. Still trying to find a decent time for this show, day and time, because my schedule is pretty much, bonkers as it is. Wednesday's night isn't working. Made up doing Tuesday night, but I have to work the next couple of Tuesday nights, so I'm going to be a little bit all over the place. But I will promise you that we will do a show per week, and also make sure that we keep all of our outlets updated to keep everyone informed about these shows, because we got a lot going on in the world of professional wrestling that we should make sure we're focusing on and covering. And I don't want to miss anything. This channel is growing. I think we do have an audience of people who are interested in professional wrestling, and I don't want to miss that. So, yeah, we're going to talk about wrestling one way or another on this platform tonight. We're also doing our regularly scheduled MMA ratings podcast with myself and Shawan. We'll be on probably about 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, seeing what he has going on with his kids today. So keep an eye on our channels for that. But for the next half an hour, 45 minutes probably, we're going to be talking professional wrestling. And we have quite a bit to talk about because there's a lot going on this week. We have Extreme Rules on Sunday. We have Fight for the Fallen on Saturday. We have Evolve on Saturday. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about some things from the this week. About that G1 Climax, because that was pretty awesome last Saturday. So I was going to touch upon that and let everyone know that I'm excited about that. But yeah, we're going to hop right into it and start off with the Extreme Rules, which is this Sunday, WWE Extreme Rules. I am going to go through some of the matches for the event. Before I even start that, I'm just going to go ahead and pretty much say it. I am on the fence about my excitement level for this show. The reason being is because I feel like there's a lot of good here. There's some mediocre here, and yeah, I'm not gonna say anything on this card is bad per se. I'm not gonna say anything is badly booked, but there's definitely some mediocre on this card. We're gonna talk about that as well. But let's go ahead and jump into it and give this preview so everyone can kind of hear my thoughts on the 10 matches. I believe it's 10 matches, right? Yeah, 10 matches that are scheduled for WWE Extreme Rules this Sunday. So I don't know what the order of matches will be. I'm pretty much sure no one does. But I'm just going to kind of read it off from the Wikipedia page, starting at the bottom, where we have the Revival, who is Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, going up against the Usos, Jimmy and Jay Uso. And I think that this match, to be honest, I didn't even know what was happening until I looked at the card yesterday. But this is the match we can all be excited about. These are two of the best teams in the industry today, two teams that can go. And we should be excited about what they are going to do. The booking and build to this match has been kind of scatterbrained-ish. So there's that. But we should definitely enjoy. We should enjoy this tag team match because I think it has all the makings of being something special. We have, like I said, two of the best teams in the industry at a time where tag team wrestling within WWE has been marginalized very badly. I think they're trying to bring it back, but I just think that the creative stagnation is hindering that. This is going to be a match that can I'm not going to say it's going to correct that, but it's a step in the right direction. I think that the Revival is going to come out the victors because I just don't see them losing the titles right now. They just got them for the second time. The first reign was a joke, and WWE has made it a point to make these guys happy because they don't want them going anywhere else, specifically AEW, where we know they will be snatched up in a moment's notice. I don't know if they re-signed their deal or not, but I believe last time we've heard they did not. But I'm going to look into that probably post-show. and see what's going on with that. But in this match, I think it's going to be fantastic. I do see this as a kickoff show match, and I think it's something that we should all watch, and no one should miss it. This is something to look forward to. I have the Revival winning and leaving with the tag team titles. Next match, Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley. I'm going to say that this match is going to be akin to what we saw with Michael Elgin and Brian Cage last Saturday. I think it was Saturday at the Impact, or Sunday maybe, at Impact's Slammiversary, where you had two big guys that we weren't sure what they would deliver in the ring, but they gave us something interesting, something that was fun to watch. You had two big guys who got all their shit in and basically work at a high pace. I don't think Lashley and Strowman are going to work at a high pace, but I think it's going to be a fun match. It's a last man standing match. So we should see a lot of foolishness, a lot of heavy, big guy wrestling going on. I'm going to bet that we see a chair thrown at somebody, like the big lounge chair that Strowman was throwing at Roman Reigns. I think we see that happen. I think that if it was, this is going to be a hard pick to make. I don't want to say the boat on Braun Strowman has sailed, but there was a point in time where he was the hottest act in the industry, in the promotion, and they basically cut his knees off from under him by making him lose to Brock Lesnar over and over again. Bobby Lashley, people were excited for his return for probably about a week, and WWE's done nothing with him since. I almost forgot that he was the Intercontinental Champion for a bit. I think that both of these guys have value. But I don't know if they have long-term value in what's going on within the WWE today. I do believe that with both of them on Raw, Heyman's going to get some use out of both men. And with that in mind, I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. I'm going to pick Bobby Lashley picking the win here somehow. But I do think that they keep Braun Strowman strong. They figure out a way to keep him strong. But I think that Strowman loses and Lashley picks. The next match up the list is Ricochet and AJ Styles. I'm looking forward to this match. When I wrote about it a couple weeks back, I looked at their House of Glory match from a couple years ago, and I forgot how good that match is. I probably have to rewatch it again. But I think the two guys are going to put on a pretty good show from start to finish, bell to bell. I see AJ picking up the win with Ricochet chasing him and winning the belt back at SummerSlam. I think that's the right thing to do. Give him a big entrance, a big victory there. We're going to see some chicanery with Gallows and Anderson, especially since these guys have re-signed a new deal. I hope that they get used properly now that we know that they've signed long-term. I think it's a 5-year deal for each man. But I'm looking forward to this. I am not as excited about the Reform Club as everybody else seemed to be after a couple weeks ago. There are things they could do with this. They always have the Finn Balor angle to add to this that they can kind of lean back on, that they haven't tapped upon, that they haven't touched in yet. And I wonder why that is the case. But we should definitely see that at some point. I hope we see it at some point because that would be an amazing group of 4 men, especially if those 4 men were to face off with the Undisputed Era. I'm here all day. Like the meme says, shut up and take my money, and because I would pay to watch that week in and week out. Next up, we have Aleister Black versus Cesaro. Now, I will say I'm totally excited about this match. I think these two guys are going to tear it up. I would start to show off with these two guys, have them go out there and put on a clinic and come back and get out top that. They can do that, and I fully expect them to. But I hated the promo from this past Tuesday on SmackDown because it's funny because you have Aleister Black doing his pleading gimmick where he's asked somebody to come fight him, and he is sounding like a very bad James Bond villain. Then you have Cesaro, who kind of had that James Bond gimmick for a second. You see him come into the frame in his suit, walking around the chair like he's playing musical chairs, and then sits down with his mouthpiece in his mouth. I understand that's part of the shtick. But I didn't like the promo at all. I thought it was stupid. It was forced, overbooked stuff, as much of WWE content is today. But these two guys are going to fucking kill it in the ring. and I cannot wait to see what they have in store for us from start to finish. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I think they're going to tear it up. So we're going to sit back and enjoy this, give these guys 15 to 20 minutes. Let's just have a good time and enjoy some great wrestling, because that's what we're getting when Aleister Black and Cesaro step into the ring together. And I'm picking Aleister Black there to get the win, because he's being built up, and Cesaro doesn't really get hurt from taking any L's right now. So I'm picking Aleister Black to pick up. I'm picking Aleister Black to win on Sunday. And sorry, I pause the audio every now and then. I'm drinking some hot tea because my throat is bothering me. Because somebody hasn't gotten sick, but that's neither here nor there. Next up, we have Daniel Bryan and Rowan versus the New Day, Big E and Xavier Woods, and Heavy Machinery for the tag team titles as a triple threat match. I am not as excited about this match as I would have been. I think Heavy Machinery is going to win and get the titles. They're probably going to pin Xavier Woods to get the win here. I'm just not excited about this match. I know we're booking towards some type of angle in the future with the New Day turning on Kofi Kingston. We have to be. We're going to touch upon that later. Heavy Machinery, I'm not sold on. They've impressed a lot of people over the last couple weeks with how they performed at that last pay-per-view and what they've been able to do since, but I just don't like their characters. I don't like that blue collar, strong, or whatever it is, whatever their gimmick is. I don't care for it. I think they're foolish, and it is. Rowan, I'm here for them all day. I don't know if they're going to be champions for that whole time. I think Bryan active and keeps them, similarly healthy, but it's a questionable issue. So I'm not the biggest fan of this match. I'm not as excited of it or for it as I am for others, but I think it'll be good. It'll be a good showcase for all three teams. But I think Heavy Machinery is going to pick up the win, and yeah, I'm just not too happy for it. Excited to see them as champions. I'm just not. Yeah, fuck those guys. Drew Gulak, Tony Nese. I think this is another pre-show match, and I think these guys are going to tear it up. I am a fan of Drew Gulak being the champion. I think he is a hidden gem. Not a hidden gem. Like, people know who he is. If you listen to this show, you know who he is. If you listen to the other podcasts like Sean Ross Sapp, Voices of Wrestling, etc., you know who he is. But both these guys are. I just think Gulak is going to be champion for a long time because he has that personality that what's his name didn't have. Tony Nese. He has the personality that Tony Nese did not have. The one that Buddy Murphy did have. The one that Cedric Alexander did not have. You see a trend there. Faces do not have the personality. The heels are bringing the personality. Gulak is another one of those guys that has that personality. I'm looking forward to seeing him wrestle. Now that I realize it, he actually is doing double duty this weekend, isn't he? Because he's doing a catch point reunion match with Matt Riddle at Evolve. We're going to talk about that too as well. So I also want to talk about the next match where we have Bayley versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. It's a handicap match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Now this can go a couple of different ways. A, we can see Nikki Cross get the pin on Bayley, and Alexa says that Alexa's a champion. And let me back up. We can see Nikki Cross get the pin on Bayley, and that kick off the whole storyline where Alexa's a champion and she's just been using Nikki Cross. Then we get that turn and we get that feud. Or what I hope we see is Nikki Cross turn on Alexa, get the pin on Bayley, and then say she's been using Alexa the whole time. Flip the script. Make Nikki be the maniacal mastermind behind this. You might flip Alexa into being a face. I don't know. I doubt you would do that. It wouldn't necessarily be a double turn. The people are behind Nikki. I think everybody loves her. No one's really behind Alexa in the same fashion, even though WWE continues to push her like that. I think it would be an interesting way to swing that. And unfortunately, once again, Bayley's being pushed to the background. But I would like to see her out. I'm not going to say I would like this. I would feel better if she was pushed to the background for Nikki instead of once again having her get pushed to the background for Alexa, not just another one, but another WWE Women's Wrestler that fits that mold that is consistently pushed in front of us. Nikki's different. She's a fresh look. She's a fresh character. I think that I would like to see that, especially if she keeps that crazy mastermind gimmick. If she brings that out. I wrote, I think last year, that I would have loved to have seen Nikki Cross be the leader of Sanity when they were pulled up to the main roster. Unfortunately, that did not happen. Sanity's been disbanded, and she's on the only one using the music. I don't even know what music Eric Young is using now. But I think that there's a lot of opportunity for Nikki Cross to shine in this match and shine in the weeks to follow if this is properly booked. Can we trust the WWE to do that? I don't know. It's my proverbial shrug. I have no idea, but I am kind of excited for that match here. And I have Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross getting the win, with Nikki getting the pin on Bayley. Kofi Kingston versus Samoa Joe. I'm leaning Kofi Kingston for this match here. It amazes me that Samoa Joe has not been booked in a World Championship slot so far. He hasn't been champion yet. I think the born has passed. Not because he can't go. He can still go. He is one of the best guys in the ring. He's one of the best talkers. I love his promo. I just don't think that WWE leadership and creative have the same faith in him that I have. I think that they see him as an enhancement talent already, like a main event enhancement talent. Being booked in a feud with him as a face, you're going to get someone that can put on some great matches and someone that can talk up a great promo. I just don't think that they have faith in him being a champion. He's a little different than Kevin Owens. For Kevin Owens doesn't have the look that everyone wants, but he still has the ability to go in the ring. I think Samoa Joe is missing that slight piece, but I don't think he gets this win on Saturday. I believe Kofi Kingston comes out on top and keeps the belt heading into SummerSlam. The next match, Undertaker and Roman Reigns versus Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. Now, let me say something. These two main events, the main and co-main event, I give absolutely zero fucks about. Across the board. Don't give a shit about The Undertaker. Don't give a shit about Shane McMahon. Don't give a shit about Lacey Evans. Baron Corbin, I'm on the fence about. Roman's whatever. Drew McIntyre, I love, great wrestler. In my opinion, I would love to see Drew and Seth battling it out for the title at SummerSlam. I mean, fuck Brock Lesnar. And actually, you know what? Have Seth and Drew battle it out for the Universal title at SummerSlam. Have Brock Lesnar try to cash in and have Drew push his shit back to put Drew over as a big-time star. That's something I would love. But as far as this match goes, The Undertaker and Roman Reigns versus Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre, I think Undertaker and Roman are going to get the win because they're the big baby faces here, with Undertaker getting the pin over Shane. But I am not interested in this match in any way, shape, or form. Shane McMahon is a joke to me, like Kevin Owens' promo said. I'm going to talk about that in a second. He's stealing time from the men and women that are in the back chilling out, playing video games, sitting at catering. He's stealing time from them, and he should really be he should be exposed a lot less than what we see of him. I think The Undertaker and Roman Reigns are going to get the win here, and they're going to show some mutual respect at the end, whatever that may be. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch against Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. Both titles on the line in this mixed tag match. If Lacey pins Becky, she loses her title, and Seth loses his title to Baron as well. There's no way in hell, you hear me knocking on wood, that WWE will pull a title switch in this situation. Right? Am I right or am I wrong? I'm hoping that I'm right, that they do not pull a title situation in this type of match, because it leaves everyone flummoxed. What did we pay our money for? What did we sit here and watch this for all day? We want this storyline to be open. There's so many different things Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins could be doing rather than their relationship being shoved down our throat, and Lacey Evans and Baron Corbin being shoved down our throat. I know people are tired of them. And what's unfortunate is, unless if Seth and Becky both win, or unless if Seth and Becky win, they aren't going to be looked at as the favorites heading into SummerSlam to try to win those titles back. I do not want to see that. No one wants to see that. They want this feud to end. I want this feud to be over, especially the Lacey component of it. Like, let's just get this over with. and move on. They have so much other things to talk about. But I think Seth and Becky are going to get the win and keep those titles around their waist. But I don't think the storyline is over, even if they do get the win. So that is all of my preview for Extreme Rules. It is what it is. I'm going to watch because that's what I do. I sit there and I watch WWE content, and I'm never going to kind of turn away from that. But this isn't the most exciting card, but I think it's better than what we thought. There are some good gems there. The tag team, the Raw tag team match. I'm interested in Strowman Lashley, Aleister Black Cesaro, Ricochet Styles, Gulak Nice, the Women's Championship, Kofi Kingston, Samoa Joe, Mr. Jeanette. Wait, who is the SmackDown Women's Champion? Bayley is. I'm sorry. So who's the Raw Women's Champion? Okay, I'm sorry, Becky. I was just totally flummoxed there for a second. But yeah, that's my preview for that. So let's move over to AEW Fight for the Fallen, because that is on Saturday, and will be streamed via BR Live. Give me 1 second. So if you have not, go ahead and subscribe to BR Live. I think it's a good platform for free professional wrestling consumption. It's not bad. I enjoyed watching Fyter Fest on it. Even though I didn't fully enjoy Fyter Fest, it has some good moments here. And AEW Fight for the Fallen, I'm not hyped for this card, but I am going to watch because it's wrestling. We have the Dark Order, Evil Uno, Stu Grayson versus Angelico and Jack Evans versus Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. I mean, whatever. This is for an opportunity to advance to the All Out. It's an opportunity. So to advance to All Out for an opportunity at the first round bye in the AEW World Tag Team Champion Tournament. That's so fucking convoluted, but I don't care. It is what it is. I'm not interested in any of these 9 guys, right? 6 guys, 2 for 6 guys. Sunny Kiss versus Peter Avalon. I'm interested in this because I want to see Sunny Kiss, and I want to see how AEW plans on booking him, because there is, I don't want to say controversy surrounding him, but people hate the character, and that's kind of like there's a marginalized group whose voices should not matter, and marginalized is the right word. There's a vocal contingent that do not like his gimmick, and they can already go fuck themselves, to be honest. But I'm interested in seeing how AEW plans on booking him, because he's a totally fresh, totally different character, especially as a black man. So it'll be interesting to see the way Fight the Fallen AEW books him, and see if they do that character justice. Then we have SoCal Uncensored versus the Lucha Brothers. I'm here for this match all day, every day. I am not the biggest fan or biggest, I guess I don't know the most about SoCal Uncensored, but the Lucha Brothers, they are my fucking dudes. I think they're going to tear it up. Now, what's interesting here is that the Lucha Brothers, I don't think the Lucha Brothers they lost at All Out. They won at Fyter Fest, I believe, in a triple threat. And I think that they're going to win this match too as well. I don't think SoCal is just going to be booked as a major tag team right yet. But I do believe that Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix are those guys. I think I see them getting the win on Saturday. Jimmy Havoc, Darby Allin, Joey Janela versus MJF, Sammy Guevara, and Shawn Spears. Don't fucking care about this match either. I think it'll be a pretty decent one. I want to see Darby Allin for the first time. I didn't watch Fyter Fest, so I heard that him and Cody put on a show, but I'm not familiar with them, so I didn't watch. We'll see what this match is like, and I'll kind of get some feedback based on that. Adam Page versus Kip Sabian. We all know Adam Page is going over because he's slated to fight for the AEW Championship at All Out. I'm interested in seeing Kip Sabian. I want to know more about him. Not that big of a fan for Adam Page, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, again, like I said, it is what it is. Fuck it. Anyway, moving on. Cody and Dustin Rhodes versus the Young Bucks. Pretty interested in this match. I wonder what they're going to use this angle to set up something more between Cody and Dustin. I think they will, and have one more match, because that match back at what was that? Double or Nothing was actually very good, and we'll see what they make of it here, but I do think the Young Bucks are going to pick up the win with some additional storytelling being told between Cody and Dustin, either during the match or post match. Then we have Kenny Omega versus Cena. Cena's been getting booked pretty strong for this match, but we know he's doing a damn job with Kenny Omega. I'm interested in this match. I'm not the biggest Kenny Omega fan. I liked what I saw out of Cena these last two events, but I do think this is going to be a pretty good match back and forth. Brandy Rose versus Ali. Yeah, I mean, okay. I'm going to watch. But it is what it is. I'm not really, it is what it is. I'm going to watch, but I don't know if this match is really anything. If it's really anything worth really kind of jumping into. Let me see. Did not have Brandy Rose versus, I already talked about that. So that's all. That's AEW Fight for the Fallen. This is a free event. Just sign up to BR Live, and just go from there. I think it's worth, it's worth the sign up. It's worth the enjoyment, and it's free. So it is what it is. Let's see. The next thing I wanted to cover. Before I do that, I wanted to jump back real quick and talk about some of the angles from WWE that I wanted to kind of touch upon. The first was the Street Profits being called up. So I have some interesting feelings about the Street Profits, and sorry about that. My cat decided to join me, and she kind of caused a whole bunch of problems here. But I've had some interesting thoughts about Street Profits, and you can see it in my writing about this team. But I think that their gimmick needs tweaking. I don't like the idea that they're Street Profits because that's a term used for individuals who sell drugs first and foremost. And if you look at a lot of their emotions, a lot of their red solo cups, et cetera, all that crap, that has connotations that aren't positive. That just aren't. If you know anything about that red solo cup, that's kind of like it was used to identify that syrup drug that was popular back by Lil Wayne. The mixing it up dance is that meth dance basically. You're assuming that you're cooking up meth, whether it be meth or cocaine or whatever the hell it is. That has negative connotations. Like their whole gimmick is negative to me. It's not like Crime Time was. It's different, but that doesn't mean it's good at all. And I can't fully get behind it. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't get me hyped. And I just fully can't get behind it. I think that they're awesome, especially in the ring. Like Montez Ford can fucking go. And I think that a lot of people are kind of pegging him as a future champion. We'll see. We know how WWE likes to have one black champion per year or per decade, so we'll see. But I can't fully enjoy these guys, knowing how great they probably are as a tag team and knowing how they're being booked as black men. I just can't. It just upsets me. Then I have the Maria and Mike Kanellis storyline. What the fuck is this? People are joking about it, calling it like a cuckold type of storyline, and I don't want to see that shit. Like I wasn't a fan of either one of these two before they were brought back to the TV. I definitely isn't. I definitely am not excited about this now. It makes me want to turn off my TV just like the Iconics do. I'm over it. I'm like, nah, next thing. Like I move on. But it makes me wonder, what is the end goal here? Because she's pregnant, so she can't wrestle and she can't get into any of the women's storylines. So what is the end game here for them? So then we have next bit I wanted to talk about was Heyman and Bischoff taking over. Heyman's getting Raw, Bischoff's getting SmackDown. People have been talking about this, and there's a lot of excitement. But there's a lot of wait and see as well, which I believe is the right way to look at it. Because no one fully knows what their place will be when it comes to the creative process. Vince McMahon likes to kind of has a deep hold over that, so we're not quite sure how that's going to play out. But it's just not what everybody thought it would be. It's interesting because when this story broke, the next Raw was great, and a lot of people assumed Heyman had something to do with that. This past Monday Night Raw was not good at all, and people are wondering, they're like, see, Vince isn't going to let go of creative that easily. Vince was there at SmackDown or at Raw. SmackDown was the inverse. Last one wasn't that great. This one was good. I mean, it was a lot better. The thing that made this one so better is Kevin Owens' promo. We're going to get into that in a second. But I am of the wait and see ilk when talking about Heyman and Bischoff. I think that they have the opportunity to have some success. I'm wondering who they're going to put around them. They're not going to be necessarily like the straight out leaders of both of these shows, but I want to see who they put around them, because I like to see some new names kind of come up, some new fresh names in writing and directing and producing for these shows. I think that there's opportunity here. WWE has a chance to do something great, and has a chance to do something right if they just get behind, if they just listen. I think they continue shoving those specific wrestlers, specific aspects down our throats. Just hasn't been working. The wild card rule needs to go. These 2-on-1 matches need to go. These rematches need to go. Like, it's just a lot of moving people through stuff that just needs to go. And I think that hopefully Heyman and Bischoff can be getting that path. I talked about Kevin Owens' promo, and I loved his promo from Tuesday. I loved the one he had the week before that too, with Drew and Shane, and then Dolph Ziggler. Kevin Owens can do no wrong. I'm not going to say he's this generation's Stone Cold. I think that's a lot, but he has the potential to be a mega star. Like, not a mega star. He has the potential to be a draw for me. He has someone I want to see. I hate the fact that they flip-flopped with him so much, but the fact that he said everything that everyone's been saying about Shane and the content, people not getting on television, Shane stepping up too much time, all that stuff was perfect. Eventually, see what they do with him next. I think he runs interference during Sunday's main event. He doesn't even have a match, I don't believe. So I think he runs the interference during Sunday's match, but I just don't. I just hope that they don't ruin Kevin Owens and what he's doing right now, because he got insanely over in just 2 weeks. And I'm here for it every single day of the week. I want to see Kevin Owens do Kevin Owens shit, because he's awesome at doing it. Two more topics to focus on. One was G1 Climax. I watched Dallas this past week, and I had a lot of fun with that. Even if you aren't, Even if you aren't overly familiar with New Japan, you should definitely hop in and watch the G1 Climax, because it's good, man. And this week, I was watching UFC 239, I think that's the number, working on that. But while that was going on, I was also while that was going on, I was also watching G1 Climax, and that Tanahashi Okada match was great. Kota Ibushi Kenta was fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. Speaking of what's next, I just pulled up the schedule. Let's see. So G1 Climax, that was July 6th. So G1 Climax 29. They have matches scheduled for this weekend. Juice Robinson versus Shingo Taki versus Shingo. Ishii versus Jeff Cobb. Yano versus Naito. Goto versus Jay White. Moxley versus Tai Chi. And then Sunday, they have Okada versus Zack Sabre Jr. Tanahashi versus Kenta. Wow. Ibushi versus Evil, Osprey versus Sonata, Archer versus Ballet. And then Monday, they have more B block matches. We have Robinson versus Goto, Ishii versus Jay White, Yano versus Shingo, Cobb versus Moxley. That would be a good one. Naito versus Tachi. I mean, there's some great matches here. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of them. I think it'll be a pretty. I mean, this is a showcase that runs through August 2nd, August 12th. Yes, I can't read. But right now, looking at the blocks, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to consuming this for the first time. If you haven't watched much G1 or if you're not familiar with New Japan, take some time to watch this. I think it'll be a good time. I think it's a good introduction, and I'm really looking forward to the content. Subscribe to New Japan World to watch everything. Then on Saturday, we also get Evolve, the 10th anniversary of Evolve 131. And it's interesting because it's being you're counter programming AEW Fight for Fallen, which is a charity. Ooh, let me see. Jacksonville's Victim Assistance Advisory Council to help victims of violent crimes. So AEW has stated that all events proceeds will be donated to victims of gun violence. Sponsored by Farah, and the proceeds of the gate will go to Jacksonville's Victim Assistance Advisory Council. So WWE decided to program against this, and with that, they're giving us Evolve, the 10th anniversary, right, which takes a lot of guys that are in NXT, sends them over to Evolve, so we can get a lot of matches that we may have seen before. People may have been involved with each other before, but it's going to be pretty interesting. So what we're getting is Adam Cole versus Akira Tozawa. Okay, that's for the NXT Championship. We know Cole's going over, but I think that'll be a great, fun match. Drew Gulak versus Matt Riddle. We already talked about that. Josh Briggs versus Anthony Green. I'm not too familiar with either one of them. JD Drake versus Austin Theory. Now, this is the match I'm very interested in because Austin Theory is a fucking star. Dude is, how old is he? I have no idea. He's like 22, 23. He's been wrestling for 3 years, barely. But he is a bona fide star. You look at this dude; he has WWE written all over him. I think he's going to do some great work out there. He is the Evolve Championship right now. I don't know the guy he's wrestling against, but ain't no way he's winning on WWE Network with Austin facing off against Austin Theory. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. It'll be a good opportunity for people to get their eyes on Austin and understand who he is. I'm looking forward to that match. Everything else on this card, don't give a fuck. I'm writing about why this is a pretty bad situation in WWE to be cross-promoting, to be counter-producing against this charity event that is AEW Fight for the Fallen. But they're being cut for business players right now. And this is the type of shit that we're going to see. It's probably going to get worse once AEW gets television time. But I don't plan on watching this live. I plan on watching Fight for the Fallen live and coming back and watching Evolve. And then WWE doesn't give out numbers about what people watch on the network, so we don't know what this will be like watching live. But it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good live, and they might get views that same night if you want to see more wrestling. But I don't think it's going to get a lot of live views. Not with AEW Fight for the Fallen being free that same night. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to talk about this week. There's so much going on in professional wrestling. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan. I hope you're as excited as I am for a lot of stuff that's going on. because I am going to be creating as much content around professional wrestling as I possibly can. Trying to do some interviews on this channel. I just realized I was supposed to have scheduled one for this week and I forgotten after the holiday. So yeah, I'm gonna try to reschedule that. But we have a lot to talk about, a lot to cover. There's always something going on. You can always catch me at rgarcia_sports, where I'm talking professional wrestling, all combat sports, basketball, etc., etc. And then you can follow MMA Ratings Net on Instagram and Twitter to catch all of our newest content. And we're just going to go from there. Thank you all for listening to the show. Please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. We're slowly growing, and that growing is great. I appreciate everyone joining in and helping us out. And again, my name is Raphael Garcia. You can follow me at rgarcia_sports. We'll be back here in probably about 2 hours for our next show. So everyone have a great night, and I'll be talking to you and Sean about MMA soon. Have a great one, guys.